Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth and 6 months ago I had a baby. I had an unmedicated home birth, which was the worst pain of my life, but it brought me my sweet little girl. And I really posted my birth vlog and then haven't posted anything in 6.5 months basically. And my husband and I are about to go to Croatia and we're going to be vlogging a little bit of that trip, so I didn't want to just jump straight from giving birth to back in Croatia. So I thought I would film a little how postpartum was for me, how the end of pregnancy was for me. I didn't really post anything during pregnancy either, just because it was so rough on me and I was miserable the whole time. But I really was like training my whole pregnancy to like give birth. I did a lot of stretches, exercises, walking every single day. I did a lot of things to prepare my body for a natural labor and birth, because I knew if I was at home there would be no option for an epidural unless I did a transfer, which I was fine with. But like in the moment I would have paid $1 million if someone would have given me an epidural. But going into it, I did a lot of like stretching, I did a lot of pregnancy yoga, I did a lot of pregnancy workout videos on YouTube. I did a lot of like focusing exercises on like opening up my hips. I did a lot of birth ball stuff. I did just a ton of like training is what I called it every single day. Even though I gave birth in January, every day in December and January I was out walking 2 miles every day. I ran up until I was 27 weeks pregnant and just kept walking from there. But I really trained. I really put a lot of work in to make sure that my birth would hopefully be smoother, and it was. I had my very first like non-painful contraction, and those were like on and off for about 3 hours, and then by the time like 7 a.m. hit, that whole day I didn't have any more contractions for 12 hours, and then around like 7 p.m. that night contractions started again. They got really intense, and then I had her at like 3:30 a.m. so not a super long labor. It was intense, and I think my only regret for having a home birth was that I wish I would have gotten a birth doula or a labor doula, because I think that that would have made a huge difference. My midwife was great. I trusted her completely with like my medical care, but she was not very encouraging or supportive, just like emotionally, and I feel like that's what I really needed. However, if you are completely new to me, completely new to my channel, my mom passed away in 2018, and I knew that like when I got pregnant and was going to be giving birth and like having a new baby, I knew that like that would be a time in my life where I really wish I had my mom. I don't really have any stand-ins who offered to come and like help postpartum or anything like that, and so I knew that like I was worried. I won't say I knew, but I was worried that postpartum would just like wreck me like a train because I didn't have the support of my mom. And so I was nervous. Like, even reflecting back now, I would say the first 6 weeks of postpartum, truly all of postpartum, but especially the first 6 weeks postpartum, were the happiest, best time of my life. And I think that I put a lot of effort into making sure, like maybe overcompensating that I didn't have my mom. So we invested a lot of money into postpartum like experience for us. First, my husband took those first 6 weeks off of work, which was huge to have him like here and at home and helping us. We hired a postpartum doula who was amazing. She would come to our house like twice a week, I think, and she would just like walk in the door and we would chat about like how I was feeling and all the new stuff, and did I have any questions, was I worried about anything. She would help with laundry, she would help make dinner, she would help like, she would do overnights also so that we could go and sleep, and she would just like be downstairs with Navy to make sure like everything was okay. She would help with like literally anything that I could ask for, and she was just so encouraging and supportive. And I'm breastfeeding, and so I was trying to work on getting a little bit of like my supply so that I could pump and store it so that I would have enough milk for when we leave for Croatia next week. She would be like helping me with that, and she went through like my milk storage bags and like wrote encouraging messages on them, and like truly just went above and beyond. And I am a words person through and through, and just like unexpectedly finding those later when I would be like pumping and like trying to get this milk supply built up, like it just meant so much. So we invested in her, and then going through her, it led us to a like postpartum mom and baby group where I went every Tuesday morning for 6 weeks, and I sat down with this group of new moms. Most of the babies in the group, Navy was the youngest. She was 2 weeks old when we started, and then I think most of the other babies were within a week of her, and then one of the babies was 4 months old and one of them was 5 months old. I don't know, but there was a group of 5 or 6 of us, and it was just like the best experience ever to just like be able to sit down and be like, you know, this is how I am feeling, this is what my baby's doing, this is how breastfeeding's going, oh, my husband's going back to work, this is how I feel about it, and be able to like be encouraging to one another, offer advice to each other, and just like get out of the house with our babies. And it was just the best thing ever. So I loved that also. I truly think those 2 things made just like a world of difference in my postpartum experience. If you are in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area, Nurture is the best place ever. That's where we found our doula and these postpartum classes. I also started doing mom and baby yoga, and then mom and baby play classes where we go in and we like sit in a circle with our babies and they like play with the toys, we read books and sing songs, and it's just it sounds so silly, but it like made such a huge difference, and like I love it. And one of the moms from that postpartum group, she and I still walk every single week. We try to get together when we're not busy and pick like a new place to go. Last week we went and got coffee and then walked around these really nice neighborhoods, and it was just like so fun. Like I love being able to have that community and do stuff like that, and it made a huge difference postpartum for me. But now that I'm here 6 months postpartum, I just wanted to film a little video. I got a few questions about why we did a home birth, how things were going, stuff like that, and so I just wanted to like go through and like just chat, basically catch up a little bit. Truly, I'm doing so well. I am the happiest that I've ever been. I thought, like, David and I spent years traveling the world, picking cool destinations, and truly all of those trips were free. Like, I made content, I referred people, and then I got to go on these trips for free, and then I got to take them along with me for free. And I thought, like, that's a dream. Traveling the world for free, picking whatever destination you want to go to, everything is planned and booked, and you just show up and go. Like, that has to be like the best life ever. And like it can't get better than that. And that's what I thought for so many years. And we were like, when we decide to have a kid, we're just gonna have to put our life completely on pause. We're gonna have no fun. It's just gonna be sucking it up and getting it through the like baby years, and it'll just be rough, and eventually we'll wake up and our kid will be like 3 and it'll start to get fun again. I was so wrong. If I would have known how happy having a baby would make me, I would have had a baby years ago. I love her so much. I cannot even express, like, I look at her and I want to cry. I'm like, I am just obsessed with you. I cannot believe that I like created her, and then like with breastfeeding her, I am like giving her all of her nutrients to survive, and I'm just like, oh, I truly cannot describe how wonderful it is to be her mom in particular. Like, she is just the absolute best. I'm completely obsessed with her. I love being a mom. I love having her as my daughter, and I just cannot get over how much like joy it has brought me. It's not at all what I thought it would be, like putting my life on pause. And I've been like a nanny and babysitter for like 7 years now, and so I knew like I would have fun with a kid, but like it's more than anything I ever dreamed of. Like, I cannot even express to you how happy she has made me. So someone asked why we chose a home birth. When I was growing up, we could not afford to pay for TV, and so we had like the basic channels that we would like watch on our little tiny scratchy TV, and one of the channels that we could actually get was like during the daytime, all it played, I have no idea what channel it was, but all it played was like bringing baby home and oh my home water birth and stuff like that. So I grew up as a kid watching all of these like home birth, water birth, labor and delivery stories on TV, and I just thought it was so normal to like have a water birth at your house that like all growing up I was like, I would love to do that one day. Like, that's what I want to do. I didn't think it was crazy, and that's what I did. Looking back now, a lot of people have said, would you do it again? Number one, I am still not far enough removed from pregnancy to ever want to go through pregnancy again. I would love if someone would just hand me a newborn baby and say, you can have this baby. Love it forever. I would love it. I love the baby phase. I love having a newborn. It's just so fun. I would love that, truly. I hated being pregnant. I was miserable. I vomited every day, if not multiple times a day, from like 7 weeks pregnant all the way to 21 weeks pregnant. It was truly just so miserable, and I could not imagine going through that again with like a toddler and having to take care of a toddler and myself, because I was barely functioning. I will say a lot of that was probably because I was traveling. I think I went to 5 or 6 different countries while I was pregnant, and it was just like miserable. But now it's great. I love it now. It's so fun and so worth all of it, and she's just the best ever. So that's why I did a home birth. Would I do it again? I loved the recovery. Like, I had her, and then I had her in bed, and I got to like sleep in my own bed that night. I got to wake up the next morning, go down to my kitchen and have breakfast. It was truly incredible. A lot of people said prior to, like, when you're nesting and stuff, the best advice they had was to hire a professional to come deep clean your house. Well, we did that. I wish I hired a professional to come deep clean my house again after like the first like 3 weeks postpartum, because having a baby at home, oh my gosh, there's just stuff everywhere. Like, because you have to get a labor kit together, you have to get like, I don't know, we had a tarp in case I wanted to get in like a birth pool instead of our bathtub. All the sheets on our bed needed to be washed. It was just a lot. So I wish I hired a deep cleaner during postpartum as well. I did end up in the ER 1 week postpartum. I had gone on my first walk, which was great and wonderful, and I came back and I had a retained placental lobe still inside of me, and I had called my midwife in a panic, and she said, "You're fine, just like sit on your toilet over a mixing bowl and pull it out." So I wouldn't go with my midwife again, but I did that. I thought it all came out. We were good. But then my doula came over, and she was like, I showed it to her. I kept it in the fridge, and I was like, "Is this normal?" And she was like, "I'd go to the ER to get checked out." So I went to the ER. The ER doctor said that even if I didn't have a home birth and I had a hospital birth instead, that probably would have been retained inside of me. My placenta came out fully intact. There were no parts missing, but I had developed, she said, 5%. I don't know. I read down a lot of stuff. I did not write that down, but something that in like a very few, I think it's 5% of pregnancies, your placenta can develop a placental lobe, which is like a little like sac off of it, I guess, like a lobe, and it detaches and you don't have any evidence that it was there, and it just hangs out after your whole placental comes out. And so it was just hanging out inside of me, and luckily it all came out on its own. Yeah, I had to go to the ER and get an internal ultrasound to make sure everything was good, and everything was great. But that did happen a week postpartum, which was kind of scary. I'm just like looking back through my notes at that time, and it's just so funny, like what I was concerned about and what I thought was like important. But this one is so sweet. It's the doctor called and said, "Is this Navy's mom?" when I answered the phone. I remember like crying about that morning. I thought it was so cute. Anyway, back to it. It was great. Truly, recovery was a dream. Even with that, like the placental lobe came out, and I felt like $1,000,000 after that. Breastfeeding has been great. I said to everyone who asked about it, and surprisingly a lot of people did when I was pregnant, they'd be like, "Oh, are you planning on breastfeeding?" And I'd be like, I mean, if it works out, it's fine, but I'm not set on it. And I told that to everyone because I'm a newborn photographer, and all of my clients who would come in and be breastfeeding would be like, breastfeeding's the hardest thing I've ever done. Like, it is worse than giving birth. And so I gave birth. I was like, man, if breastfeeding doesn't work out, like, if that's the hardest thing you've ever done, like, I don't need to do it. Truly, I think like just being at home and being in such a relaxed environment and having an unmedicated birth, I think it made a huge difference. Maybe wasn't hungry right away, but when she was, she just latched like that, and it was great, and we've had zero problems ever since. It's been such a great journey. I love it. I was never expecting to say that, but it's just been like the best. So I love that. We are also cloth diapering, which I probably sound so crunchy right now. Home birth, breastfeeding, cloth diapering, they're just like things like influenced as a child watching TV to do the home birth, influenced by my midwife to take breastfeeding seriously because she just like made it all happen so like seamlessly, it felt like. And then on TikTok, I think her name's Crystal, the Kinder cloth diapering girl, her videos started popping up in my feed like before I was pregnant, and I would just watch them and watch them and watch them, and I was like, she just convinced me this can't be too hard, like this could be super easy, it's super manageable. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just like bite the bullet and like get a starter pack and we'll see how it goes. I love cloth diapering. I never thought that I would, especially with her being breastfed exclusively for the first 6 months. You'd like breast milk poop is water soluble, so you just like put everything in a bag and throw it in the washer and it's like fine. It was like so easy, so incredible. I love it. The patterns are so cute. It's so good for the environment, and we are saving so much money. We had to go and buy disposables for the very first time the other day. Disposables and wipes, because we also use cloth wipes now. I had no idea it was so expensive. We just got a box of each for when we're in Croatia. She's staying with my in-laws, and like I was like shocked. I was like, these are so expensive. I cannot believe it. So glad we're cloth diapering. Sorry, I have notes I want to talk about. Why aren't you sharing her face online? A lot of people question this. They're like, oh my gosh, you're a photographer. You're going to take such cute photos of your kid. Like, I can't wait to see her. You're going to post her. You're on YouTube. I can't wait to see her. I am sharing my motherhood journey. I am not sharing her childhood online. The internet is a scary place. I put my life out there with all the videos of my mom and stuff, and me just like in tears on the internet. People are mean. Like, that was a situation that was horrible to go through as is, and then I put myself out there online, and a lot of people were supportive, but like a lot of people were freaking crazy, telling me like Bigfoot came and got my mom, and like, oh, don't you know that like this was totally planned, and like your mom didn't actually die, and you're just trying to do this for attention, and like just like totally unnecessary things. Like, people hide behind a screen, and I don't want to open her up to that. I don't want her to think that she needs the approval of people on the internet. I don't want the people on the internet think that they deserve opinion about her. It's truly no one's business what she looks like. She is happy, she's healthy, she is just the light of our lives, and I don't want to open her up to the world. A lot of people who personally know me, I've had a lot of people say, oh, I want to see a picture. Like, sure, I will send you loads. I have billions on my phone. She's the cutest little baby ever. I am obsessed with her. I do not have a problem with that. But it's like the people of the internet, like, you can take a picture, and like with AI now, you can do so many things with that picture that I am just like, no thanks. And that's what originally like started the whole let's like have this conversation about not showing her online. I think we were really on the fence about it a lot, but then like she was born and we started posting photos of her. Like, I have her all over my Instagram. It's just like not of her face, and now it's become such a creative challenge, and it's just been so fun for me to like try to get photos like, oh, how can we like make this a cute little photo without showing her face, or like, you know, just stuff like that. It's like fun and challenging for me now. I'm not saying that we're never going to like post her photo, like maybe when she's in like 5th grade and, you know, whatever, we have a family photo. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. But I think that if I did not open my life up to YouTube, I probably would have posted a ton of photos of her online already. But since everything of mine online is public and I have decided to open my life up to that, I'm too lazy to go through and take everyone that I don't know off. I've been on YouTube for 10 years now. That's like 10 years of posting. That's crazy. I've not said that out loud. I got an email about it the other day, but that's crazy to think about. And at this point, like, a lot of people who follow me on Instagram and stuff, I've had so many conversations with them over the years that I do not know them as people. I recognize their names and their profile pictures, and some of them I even follow, but it's kind of blended in, do I actually know them or not? Like, you know, I don't know, but YouTube opened my life up to a lot of people, and I truly just, you know, I made that decision, and now we've decided we're not opening up Navy to all of that too. Why did we pick the name Navy? A lot of people have said like, oh, that's cute, but that's different. Yeah, but we love it, obviously. Originally, I added it to our list thinking that David would be like, nope, that's too out there, that's weird, no thank you. We had a list of stuff we were going off of, and I had just like last minute like thrown it in there to be like, this will make him be like, oh, it could be crazy, so I will go with the normal name on Elizabeth's list. And he looked at it and was like, I think that's it. And I was like, you don't even want to look at anything else? He's like, no, I think that's it. And the more we thought about it, the more we were like, it just makes so much sense. I grew up my mom always saying that she did not like her name. She thought that it sounded like she was named after a dog, so I didn't want to, like, me growing up hearing that all the time as a child, I was like, why would I want to reuse that name when my mom didn't like it to begin with? And so I was like, obviously I'm not gonna like have like her be like named after my mom and like a memory like that. But I also grew up my whole life hearing my mom say how much she loved the color blue. Oh, all of our eyes were blue, that was her favorite color. She loved how the sky was blue, that's her favorite color. Like, blue everything. So the fact that like navy is blue, like a little sentiment there. Also, David and I in our like household and relationship have very like opposite gender role responsibilities. He does all of the grocery shopping, cooking, dishes, stuff like that, and then I do like the home renovation projects. If we need to like get the drill out for something, it's a me job, not a him job. Stuff like that. So it's kind of like opposite. Like there was a thing on TikTok a while ago going like, oh, that's a pink job or that's a blue job. And so it's funny because a lot of my jobs are like blue jobs and a lot of his jobs are pink jobs in like society's viewpoint. And so we're like, oh, we have a little girl and her name is like the color blue as a girl, so it's like blue is a boy color, like if that makes sense. But regardless, we chose her name, we love it. And then last little thing, biggest advice that you could give after going through pregnancy and labor and everything like that. And I have 3 things for this. Number 1, choose extremely wisely who you decide to have a baby with. It makes a world of a difference who your partner is, if they step up, how much they do, if they want to be a dad or if they want to father a child and then not be involved. David has been a fantastic dad. He has completely stepped up. He wants to be involved. He wants to, you know, do his part. And I see a lot of moms in my like January baby due dates group that they chose badly on who they wanted to have a baby with. And it's just so sad to think that a lot of people aren't getting supported the way that I am with the way that David acts. So I think that that's my big one. Second one is wait to take your newborn photos. I was up 4 days postpartum, all dolled up, had my photographer friend come and take them, and truly looking back, that was unhinged behavior. I was not ready. I was so focused that she was going to grow so fast, but like me waiting a week, it would have been fine. And then last piece of advice is if you are breastfeeding, those first few days, take all the newborn snuggles. Do not hand that baby to anyone. Keep them on your chest snuggling, because as soon as your milk comes in, they don't want to just like lay on you and snuggle because you smell like food, and they'll be like at you all the time. And oh, it broke my heart when she wouldn't want to just sleep on me. So yeah, that was my big like thing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have now. I don't know. I just wanted to give a little chat before I just jump into Croatia content. Hopefully this caught you up a little bit, answered some questions. I'm sorry it was chaotic and all over the place, but I've been filming for like 30 minutes now, and David and Navy are about to get home. So I gotta wrap this up so that I can go see her. But yeah, that is it. If you have any more questions, leave them down below. Anything about like home birth, how I found my midwife, like anything like that. I'm pretty much an open book. I put videos of me crying on the internet out, you know, all the time, and then put a video out of me literally giving birth on the internet because I'm crazy, but that's what helped me when I was researching and saying, is it completely crazy to want to do a home birth with your first baby? Seeing first-time mom home birth as like success stories made a huge difference for me, so that's why I wanted to put it out there too. But yeah, that is all. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because we'll have some Croatia content coming soon, and then here in a few months we will be going to London with Navy. I think we have decided that we are going to vlog that trip just for like memories and stuff. I have vlogs of the past 6 months of like with her that are just going to be for like us private, but I think that for London we are actually going to vlog it, and I will just like blur her face in the videos just because I want those to look back on, and that's where we went for our honeymoon, and it'll just be so sweet. So yeah, that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!